The UN Security Council is tightening the noose on North Korea. It unanimously passed tough new sanctions today. The U.S. and the North's strongest ally, China, led the push for tighter diplomatic and financial restrictions that will make it more difficult for North Korea to pursue its nuclear weapons program.
Taken together, these sanctions will bite, and bite hard. They increase North Korea's isolation and raise the cost to North Korea's leaders of defying the international community.
The sanctions came just hours after a North Korean general threatened a nuclear strike against the United States, saying the U.S. and South Korea would be turned into a sea of flames. Threats like that are not unusual from North Korea's government, but rarely do we hear what civilians there think. Many of them live in poverty. Our Asia correspondent Paul Johnson traveled to North Korea's border with China and met some North Koreans who say things aren't as bad as some say, despite their open reliance on China for survival.
This is Sinuiju, one of North Korea's major cities, and a stark contrast to the modern skyline just across the river in China. And this is where you find North Korea's lifeline, the stream of food and fuel from China that sustains them. Peering across the river, you get a glimpse of a cold and colorless place, where even on a freezing day, there are few signs of heat other than bonfires near the river.
We're in the middle of the Yalu River, and that's North Korea behind me. They hardly ever let foreign journalists in, and we can't go in now. We don't dare get too close to the other side, because foreigners who've mistakenly wandered into North Korea in the past have been arrested and held as spies.
So a good place to find North Koreans is here in the Chinese border city of Dandong. This North Korean man tells us people are not going hungry in his country right now and are unafraid of conflict with the West. They feel their military is strong. This man tells us conditions are slowly improving in North Korea. The country, he says, can survive on its own. But among Chinese businessmen here, there is concern. North Korea's recent nuclear test frightens them, even as they say trade between the two countries has never been busier. And that trade relationship is highlighted by a new bridge that will connect the two countries. The rumor here, though, is that China is paying for all of it, as North Korea continues its strategy of both defying and depending on the outside world. Paul Johnson, Global News, on the North Korean border.